And it's like...
It is what it is.
the heckin'
Sandberg.
point. I remember doing this with my friend in 5th grade, this level.
Yeah.
And I was just like at his house hanging out. I think, yeah.
That's a great story.
That was the No, I was thinking about the time he showed me his penis. He was a strange child. I'm pretty sure he grew up to be a normal lad.
I mean, who among us didn't show children involuntarily a penis when we were in high school? I mean,
no, I was not in high school. This was like 5th grade.
That's a little bit different, but sometimes I think about the hazing that we would do in high school and go, that's illegal.
Do hazing.
Don't.
I didn't. I couldn't tell I was going back, to be honest.
No, I've shown a Power Ranger my penis. Anyways.
No, I did. Fun. I did not show this friend my penis.
That's good, I guess.
I made up some excuse.
You shouldn't need to make up an excuse. Just for
I know that now, but I did.
Anyways, welcome back. We're talking about this now.
I played this level with him, and I was like, "Oh, let's play Mario Galaxy 2," because we were looking at games to play or whatever. And he was like, "That's not. Do I want to go in here?"
No.
Okay. And he was like,
"That's where it takes
not really a 2-player game." And then I was like, "I want to be player 2," and he was so confused. I was like, I don't know. I just liked it.
Well, I think you can go in there.
I think I have to.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah, alright.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, alright, Galaxy.
I like this little loading screen. Loading the correct gravity.
The cool thing is you don't have to do any of that. You can just wall jump up there, and then the gravity never changes, and it's pretty easy.
Is when you stop sassing me, because then I can be happy
I
again.
did not sass you. I just stated what I thought was cool.
I thought it was like the cool thing is if you do this thing you didn't do.
It is.
Is there something else here?
No, this is the launch star.
I don't know. It's a
Did you get the comet medal in the last level?
I don't know. Probably not.
I think you did. I think it's on the path.
On the path of...
It's on the path when the red birds are dropping dookies.
Oh yes, I did get it.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah, I just needed the red bird dookie to remind me.
Dropping loads.
Dropping bombs.
Dropping ice. Like a blizzard.
Sinking in my sand pit. Like a squizzard.
This is amazing.
The same joke.
We're so tired now.
But it's still funny.
I'm in the tired state of I don't know what to say. Which is not the good tired state.
I'm in the tired state of Jiffy Lube.
No, that's not a state, Daniel. That's where I took my car.
It's the state that the tires are in.
The tires are in Arizona.
They're in Jiffy Lube.
They're not in Jiffy Lube.
What do you mean the tires are in Arizona? They're everywhere.
They're on my car. My tires on my car.
Oh.
Are there. Okay, so...
Whoa! He speeds up.
Here's a bit that we did, right? That we had, which was, so...
Wait,
you know that...
We being you and Priscilla?
Me and Priscilla,
okay.
right? So you know those, like, little articles or whatever, they're like, 10 things you might have missed in this Disney movie or whatever, right? Where they're like... They ask, like, silly, dumb questions of, like... I can't think of one right now, but, like, you know, the kind of questions where you're like, okay, yeah, haha, that's a funny observation, but it's not actually what they intended, right? Like, did Tarzan's parents sink on the boat with Elsa and Anna's parents? Are they the same people and they made the baby or whatever? But we were doing this, like, bit thing where it was, like, you know, that going on, where it's like, does Ariel explore the boat that Elsa and Anna's parents sunk?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
That is the theory.
But then you interchange it with, like, very serious thoughts about Disney, like, Simba watched his father die in front of him. The buzzards ate his skin in the forest. Do you ever think about how Rapunzel had to brush her hair a long time? So just, like, stuff like that, where we just, like, alternate between them, you know?
Do you know that Simba's probably... mated with all the lions back home?
You think about how Mufasa was the only male lion, except for Scar, and so that means all the babies are his siblings? The Hunchback of Notre Dame talks about serious issues with mental health and disability in our nation.
And the corruption of power within individuals in religious positions. And
We
how
saw-
it can
we-
hurt those that are less fortunate.
Okay, Danny, I need you to do another thing for me in editing.
Okay.
We went to the Oogie Boogie Bash, which is the Halloween party at Disney's California Adventure, and they have a
Yes.
Halloween parade, right? Which is great. It's fun. Mickey comes out in a little Halloween costume, and they have a whole Halloween parade. Hi. Whenever I do a
guys.
speed run, I have to say hello to them, or else my run is cursed.
Wow.
So like, I'll stop what I'm doing, look up in the air, and go, "Hi, Sky Valley Hell Tree." What is it?
Hell Valley Sky
Hell
Tree.
Valley Sky Tree.
Gosh, fake gamer girl.
Oh my gosh, I am a fake
I'm sorry
gamer
I'm
girl.
yelling. Priscilla's asleep.
It's okay. She said she'll be okay. She's a pretty heavy sleeper when she wants to be. Why did you not get the cloud?
Oh.
Anyways,
Am I dead?
no, you're fine. You just it makes life easier if you have the cloud.
Oh. Yeah,
what was I
I
saying?
hate having to manually back up all my data.
Shut up. What was I even saying?
Something about,
Oh, here's what I need you to look up, Daniel.
Yeah.
We saw the parade. It was a great parade. Mickey was doing his little Halloween thing. It was so much fun. Yay. All the villains come out, you know?
Uh-huh.
Some of the more obscure villains come out during this parade. You
Right.
get like Ursula, which is kind of sick because she's like on a Segway, like the girl. Like it's a costume, but she's on like a hoverboard, so her hands are moving around, but this Ursula is like skating around. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever. What I need you to look up is the Judge Frollo,
Okay.
because my goodness, that was a cursed costume if I ever saw one.
Frollo.
Frollo. He's the hunchback villain, right?
Okay. I don't know Hunchback well.
They put his costume. They put him in the parade, but he don't look right. His head don't look right, and I don't like it. It makes me upset. Like some of the villains they had to do that with, right? Like there's only so much you can do for I don't know, like the cartoony characters. You have to put, you know, a little bit of a goofy, like Maui, right? You can't just get you could get a buff Polynesian
But he
man,
wouldn't be buff enough.
But he wouldn't be buff
No
enough
human has those kinds of
proportions.
features.
And also the
Yeah.
tattoos would take forever to
Oh my
apply.
gosh.
So it's better to just have a
Yeah.
costume character. But like Judge Frollo feels like one we could have just put a man in a hat.
Probably.
I feel like we didn't need to make this scary, like terrifying mask thing. Alright, you ready for the game to lag?
When it loads these guys?
Yeah, when it loads all of them,
Oh my
they
gosh.
all shoot out
I
there.
wasn't until you said so, and it just sparked like a core memory of childhood. Or not.
It's when you
The game
it's when
lagged
you, I think
hard
yeah,
at
it's
some
when you like
point
jump
earlier.
up. It's when you jump across because I usually just skip them all. Did it lag earlier?
On one of the earlier levels, I mean.
Oh,
It lagged like a lot more. I think it was Big Galaxy.
Big Galaxy,
What's it called?
Big Mouth. That show. Oh,
I have a friend who worked on that show. That was
do
weird.
you?
Yeah.
That's
It's-
neat.
Yeah, not a great show to work on.
Well, I believe it.
I mean, it's not a great show.
Yeah. The writer's strike
It's
ended
child
to date the
pornography.
episode.
Oh.
It's what?
It's like
okay.
it's like animated child pornography
Oh,
almost.
very cool. Yeah, there was a writer's strike, if you did not know.
Yeah, which I don't really understand. Is there like one company in charge of paying all the writers for everything ever?
No, so there is a guild, which is the
Writers Guild.
it is the national, what's the term? Oh, what's the term for when you like, union. It's the national union for writers.
Okay.
And basically they were saying, okay, we want to negotiate deals. The companies weren't negotiating deals with them. I don't know exactly how it works, because you're right, like how did every company negotiate a deal, but there is something about that like, they did the strike, they got what they wanted, and a little bit more, so like, it was a successful strike. But the actors are still on strike, so it
Okay.
doesn't do much for content when the writers can come back. It pretty much just gets like late night back. Because every actor is still on strike.
Right.
So they can't come back and film shows.
I thought when I first heard about the strike, which was a long time ago now.
Yeah, it started 9 months ago, I think.
I thought it was mostly an AI thing, where writers
It
were
is
saying
partially that, yeah.
everybody immediately jumped on using AI. We're not working anymore,
Yeah.
and we want to do that. And part of me was like, yeah, good for you for striking, but also like, if they're replacing you with AI, why are you making it easier by not working? Why are you making them use the AI?
Well, the AI is not like good enough yet. It's a preemptive strike.
Some of it kind of is.
Some of it kind of is.
Scary how fast AI is.
But one of the big concerns with the actors and stuff was that they were basically saying, like, we can purchase the rights to your likeness.
Yes.
And then recreate you forever. And never have to give you residuals about that. Like, we never have to pay you. Like, Robin Williams, his daughter's already gone out and talked about, like, how they want to recreate his likeness. And she has to keep saying, no, you can't, like, do that. But they're worried that, like, when they all pass, someone's just going to do it, you know?
Right.
So it's an interesting conundrum. It's an interesting thing, but...
Which, I don't want to be that guy with the least popular opinion. If I'm dead, I don't care.
All right. What is this level? Is this the secret level? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know where you're going?
In the pipe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you knew. Okay. You want to get that, yeah.
I just wanted to see it, but...
No, that's fair.
It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I'm just happy that I get Jeopardy back, and that I get my late night shows back, because I like Seth Meyers. He was how I kept up with news, and then he was on strike for so long that I had to follow an actual politics guy.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
And now it's like, now I have so many politics to watch every day.
I have so many political opinions that end up just being, I don't like it when people are dumb.
Yeah, no,
and it has this very big sense of, like, I'm so smart, I know better than everyone, but it's really just like, I hate when people are dumb.
We're at a state where it is what's the word? It's exhausting, and people just don't want to deal with it, and that's fair, and I respect that to an extent. You kind of have to, but
yeah, I'm not going to be like, I don't want anything to do with politics ever, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with, like, big political people. Politicians are one thing, but, like, I don't need to watch Ben Shapiro anymore. My roommate did enough for my lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't know where you're at. I definitely had a Ben Shapiro,
I thought
Milo Yiannopoulos, Steven Crowder phase, which
I don't know who those last two are.
Impressed. They were just basically these super hardcore anti-feminism, feminism is not fair to men, and, you know, white lives matter and all that kind of stuff. And I had a whole phase of that where I was like, because I think to an extent every 18, 19, 20-year-old boy, as you come into the world and you see that everyone's like, hey, so there's a lot of systematic issues that largely are due to the positions of power that these people have been in.
Right.
And, like, when you hear that all the time, you go, then what is my worth? And you start to feel really down on yourself. And, like, that didn't help me when I was super depresso and stuff.
I feel like there's also a big feeling of, like, nobody cares, kind of.
And so,
where
like,
if you have a problem, who cares? You have it better than everyone else. It's like, that's not what we're talking about right now. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm not saying...
Yeah, and so, like, I think to an extent every boy has a little bit of a phase. Every man has a phase that they go through.
Those kinds of extremist opinions on any direction aren't going to catch on without some semblance of truth behind it. Like, you gotta have a starting point to get your views in.
So, yeah, I guess just if you're watching this and you feel like you're part of that, like, feminism, what is it, like, owning the libs, and I would watch a lot of, feminist trolled videos on YouTube.
I never got those. I think those were a little bit before I got into...
Yeah, I watched a lot of those.
Anything political.
And I didn't vote in 2016, but had I probably would have voted for Trump, so I'm kind of glad I didn't vote. And just all that to say that, like, your life is going to change, your thoughts are going to change, your feelings are going to change, and that's all valid. There's a reason that old people get more conservative as they age. It's because they like the way things were, and they don't want things to change, and, like, young people...
And also your current progressive beliefs are probably going to be more conservative when you're old.
Yeah, so, like, just, I don't know. Some people are like, some people are very firmly in the camp of, if you support this politician or you believe this thing,
you're a bad person.
I cannot associate with you.
Yeah, that's part of what I feel is just kind of stupid. I'm like, separate the art from the artist, you know?
No, like, genuinely, as much as I think that Trump is literally, I mean, we don't need to get into it all, but...
I don't know, first president with a mugshot, that was a big accomplishment.
Yeah, he's got 4 criminal trials pending. And, like, for most of the things, it's kind of obvious that he did them if you pay attention to them.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whatever. If you think that he's innocent, then I think you're severely brainwashed. But at least of all four of them,
I think any
there's at least one or
politician
two
is.
that you gotta
I
concede.
think any politician is completely benign. You're probably wrong.
Oh.
Oh.
You may as well just end it now.
Wow. Okay.
Just no point. You would have to. Do
Okay,
it over
Matt, we
again
can talk
anyways.
about this.
All that to say,
I think my. Go ahead.
All that to say, even if you support him, even if you're ride or die Donald Trump, I think you're an idiot, but that will not change the fact that I think you can still be a good person, you know? Like, I don't know.
I had a very, I don't think hard right, but it was hard right relative to my surroundings.
Yeah.
In high school.
You're gonna make it.
Dang it. Whatever, I'll just come back for this one.
Okay.
I don't want to do it right now.
You could even do it off camera, even.
Oh, maybe one day. No, I had so many experiences in high school that sound like made up far-right propaganda.
Yeah.
About how stupid the left is and how people who think this are just, whatever. And if I told you these experiences, you'd probably be like, that's not true, like you're making that up.
Yeah.
But, politics wasn't really discussed in high school a whole lot.
And then
we're not sitting around having roundtable discussions on our retirement plans or anything. So when it came up, it was always extremists. And we knew that the right extremists who thought the N-word was the pinnacle of comedy, because they made themselves known, but the other extremists who also just hated people for what they are were really loud too. So that was my only introduction to either political spectrum, and I was like, this is stupid. Why are we... who cares?
No, that's fair. I think, too, it's hard in high school because nobody's brain is finished.
Right.
And so you're all going to be idiots in high school.
It's just, I had so many more experiences than you would believe of people, of girls that I had not ever spoken to or interacted with, coming up to me after classes being like, you need to stop manspreading in class. And I'm like, I don't fit under the desk. Shut up.
Yeah, that is what it is.
And I realize that's just Southern California. You're gonna be talking to 15, 16-year-old people.
Yeah.
They're probably not the brightest in general. That's it. That's the end of that thought.
No, that's it. I don't know. I was hoping we'd get goofy late night. Instead, we got introspective late night.
I do like the comedy that comes out of politics, though. Jokes about politics can be funny.
Yes.
Not political policies or anything. Just politicians being funny or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean,
I saw some... Was it on... I think it was a clip on Reddit that was going around, some comedian talking about Trump, and he was like, I think we can all agree Trump was funny, right? It was like, whether or not you support him, he was hilarious, and he brings up the this first debate. All the Republicans are like, I'm going to be running on the grounds of education. I'm going to be running on retirement. And then Trump supposedly comes on. He's like, Rand Paul is ugly.
Yeah, no, he literally would do things like that in his debates.
I do not care what your I don't care who you are. That's fun.
One of the funniest things that Donald Trump has ever said, and it's horrendously racist, was Kung Flu. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard, and it's so bad. I stand by that opinion. It's terrible. It's horribly racist, but it's also really funny. Where are you going, buddy?
Is there not another one that I can reach from here?
No.
Thinking of Galaxy 1.
You're thinking of Galaxy 1, yeah.
Okay. That was a bad shot.
We're gonna land, it's fine.
I often...
Well, and I think it's healthy to be able to laugh at your politicians, right? Joe Biden is not... Let's be clear, I don't like Trump. But Joe Biden is not exactly who I would have picked either.
The general consensus I got from the internet was that people who voted for Biden all agreed we're settling for Biden.
Yeah,
we're not picking him.
Which kind of happens every year, and I don't know how that happens every year.
And boy, oh boy, you know what? I'm gonna laugh when the old man kind of falls down the stairs.
Oh, it's funny.
The entire country watching. It's hilarious.
Well, and it's his stutters where he has to sit there.
That one video where he's like, America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. It's so funny.
Well, and the recent one where George Bush was trying to say that the Russian invasion of Ukraine was
he says like
a disaster, and he says the invasion of Iraq, and then he goes, oh whoops,
like Iraq too.
It's like, yeah, you did that, buddy.
Yeah,
that was
funny.
your fault that happened.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. It's funny.
Oh, I wish we had more time because I want to go into one of the greatest presidents' wives of all time. But we'll get there.
You can write it down.
Oh, I have it written down.
Okay.
In maybe not the next episode of this, but in some episode of this, I'm going to tell you about the wife of Grover Cleveland, our 22nd and 24th president.
Okay.
Did you know that?
In the back of my head somewhere.
He's the one president that was elected, lost the election, and then won the next election.
Yeah.
And so he's listed as 22 and 24, and people like Priscilla get super mad about it because they're like, Biden is not the 46th president, he's the 45th. One guy was just split, but it's like, he was, but he still is, you know?
That's fair. I feel like we should measure that kind of thing by terms. And I've thought this since like 8th grade.
Yeah.
We shouldn't call him like 46th president. We should be like 70th term of America's presidency or whatever.
No, that's fair.
Biden's old and it's funny.
He is old, and it is a little funny.
And I feel really bad, but Mitch McConnell's freezing is kind of funny.
It's a little bit, but it's also just like...
It's sad more than it's funny.
It's sad
but
both for him and for the state of our nation.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know, it is what it is.
I think
and now they're...
half the humor comes from Mitch McConnell's face just being funny in general.
He's a turtle man. He's the most turtle man I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't like to, like... I don't know. Sometimes you gotta be careful with that, but he is a turtle.
Discriminating in any form, making any kind of prejudgment based on someone's looks is a very big issue that nobody talks about. But I'll say Mitch McConnell looks funny.
I think everyone talks about it.
No, people don't talk about the fact that it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's a very controversial opinion I have, I think.
I don't know.
Ugly people are the most, like, not oppressed, but bullied group of people out there. And if you're ugly, it's largely not your fault, but your life is just going to be objectively worse because of it.
I will say as a solid 5 out of 10, though, you could do wonders for yourself just by taking care of yourself.
You can. Nobody has to be a 1 or 2.
You know?
But some people are not going to get above a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, where you have the internet, where everyone's a 10, 90% of the faces you see are not going to be real people.
Yeah.
They're going to be the top of the top. Everybody looks ugly.
All that to say,
be a good person.
Be a good person. Politics don't have to define you. They really shouldn't. They didn't. And they've recently started doing that, and they don't need to. Just don't.
I remember hearing the, like, facts don't care about your feelings statement thrown around a lot, and I was like, there's nothing incorrect about it. And then one day I had the epiphany, and I was like, you know what? Facts might not care about your feelings, but good people do.
There you go. That is the moral of the story.
Now I feel better being a good person.
I like that. I like that way of doing that, of looking at it.
I have a lot of opinions that I think would upset people, but I just don't tell them.
All right.
Because I want to be a good person.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'd rather make people happy than
I have a lot of thoughts I have about my students that I don't tell them. No,
that's how I felt about my teachers, except I would say that. only him.
To close with this, zoom in on Bubba slowly as I give this last thought. It's not a thought. It's actually just a reference of something. Because when I was in improv, they would do slideshows for every show when I was at the improv team at BYU. They would do a slideshow for every show, and they would just, like, list off the cast and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. Mine, I didn't make the slideshows, right? But for some reason, they thought it was very funny to frequently make jokes that I enjoyed or watched Ben Shapiro. So, like, for, like, 4 shows in a row, my slideshow slide just said, like, things Matt has in common with Ben Shapiro, number 476. And, like, one of them was a picture of me at, a father and son's camp out holding a little axe when I was a young child.
Uh-huh.
And it said, like, things Matt has in common with Ben Shapiro, number 4,823. They both believe in freedom to bear arms or something. And I was like, stop. But it was also very funny. That's all. That's Lubba, you're a beautiful man.
Everyone, be a good person.
Be nice.
If someone's not being a good person, it's unfortunate.
We're still zooming in on
You
Lubba.
still should be. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Lubba, be a good person. What do you have to say about racism, Lubba? Hubba purple star run.
Hold on, I want to see what he
He's
has
gone.
to say about racism.
Oh, okay, let's see what he has to say about racism, and then we'll end the
I want to
episode.
find out.
What does he
Hey,
got?
Lubba, what are your thoughts on systemic oppression?
No! He's telling us to drive our slave ship into the ocean?
He's telling us to go attack those of the inferior race.
Oh no, Lubba's a racist. Cancel
Alright.
Lubba!
Cancel Lubba.
But
Gotta
don't
go.
cancel your subscription.
Oh! Alright.
I'm so
Send it there.
tired. Good night.
Good night, folks. That's all. We had
Good
a
night
good show.
at 10 in the morning.
Good night. Woo!